Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. We're free and available on all platforms. On today's show, it's possible there might be a deal between the players and the owners while I'm recording the show. If that happens, I cannot be held responsible for how I react to that news. And we're calling today Wayback Wednesday because instead of looking at walk-offs, I thought it could be fun to look at two horrible Yankees losses that I attended in the 2000s. Because why not? That could be a fun thing. All next on Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, Yankee fans. This is Stacey, host of Locked On Yankees. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, March 9th, and I will be checking Twitter a lot while I'm recording just to see if anything happens, because right now it is 10 minutes to 3 p.m. and this feels like the time of day that a deal could happen. You never know. Before we get into it, you can listen to us in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. And you can watch us and subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you have a smart device, you can tell it to play Locked On Yankees. I say us because I have a co-host, Abby, who is not here this week. Abby is in the Bahamas. It's snowing behind me. Oh, and if you notice I'm not in my normal setup, I am cat sitting for my friends who are in Florida. Because everyone I know is in warm weather right now, except me. That's a bummer. So yeah, a deal could be happening. Things are picking up. The owners and players were negotiating deep into the night last night. Apparently, I was in bed by 11 and people were up late. Just like they were, when was that, 2 weeks ago? Or last week? What is time? What is time? I don't know when anything happened. So anyway, they extended the deadline. They're negotiating again today. They're getting closer to a resolution, it seems, but I still feel like the players are still going to be screwed by the owners no matter what they do. And if something happens today, and if they can reach a deal, it looks as if the season will start April 6th, which is only a week late. So they'll just lose those first two series, but there are plans to make up those games in double headers, I guess, is what I saw. I don't know. I guess that would work. But it's better than having to cancel a month of games and not count those games. And again, we spoke about this, was it last week or the week before, about how that could be a problem because the schedules are not, they're not made the same. You know, there are some years where the Yankees play the Red Sox 6 times in April, and then there are other times where they play Baltimore 6 times in April. And it's, you know, the tougher competition. Not that anyone who makes the schedule knows how teams are going to play because they make them so far in advance. But sometimes it just turns out that the harder competition, you know, those games are backloaded, which makes the season very interesting for teams. So let's hope something gets done soon and that it's only a week of games that we miss and that it's only a week of games that they have to make up and that they can make them up. There are also things were coming out about the actual deal. I don't understand the money stuff. I really don't. I'm going to have someone on here to explain some of this. And I know not everyone understands the economics of things, because it is all very confusing with different tiers and layers and, you know, this will be this way for this amount of time, but then when this happens, this kicks in. And so it looks like the luxury tax threshold may be going up. I thought I saw 238, but I also saw 240. So I don't know if that means it's going to be 238 for a while and then go up to 240. But there are certain owners around baseball who were loving this, Steve Cohen, and there are other owners around baseball who probably don't, Artie Moreno. So we'll see. I know the owners are really trying to get, they really want that 14-team playoff thing, but the players are like, no, I don't want 14 teams in the playoff. That's half the league. No one wants to see half the league in the playoffs because that gives, I just sounded like Jim Mora, playoffs. It doesn't give some of these teams, how do I say this? I mean, I guess there's some incentive because you think, oh, okay, I can make the playoffs. But you're going to see teams that are under 500 in the playoffs. Who the hell wants to see that? I don't. And someone jokingly said, if that many teams are in the playoffs every year, it's a guarantee the Yankees are always going to be in the playoffs because they're never below 500. They're always hanging around in there. So if you make the cutoff 14 teams, they're always going to be there. For us, that's great. For Yankee haters, that would be absolute misery. There's also the bigger bases, shift ban, and what is the other thing? Why is my brain not working? Now, the bigger bases thing. Okay. I get it from an injury standpoint because I don't know about you guys, but I cringe every time someone legs out a single and stomps on first base because I'm always worried that someone is going to snap an ankle. It doesn't happen often. You know, guys twist things and fall or whatever. But that's one of my biggest worries. I don't like that. And the bigger base is supposed to cut down on injuries. And it's also going to incentivize stolen bases because if the base is bigger, you'll get there quicker. And you'll get from one base to the other quicker because both bases will be an extra. I don't remember what the dimensions are, but you know, you'll have that extra bit of inches for you to steal a base. So maybe that might work. Now the shift ban, I don't know. I don't like shifts because none of the Yankees know how to work around them. Joey Gallo. But I do get annoyed sometimes with some of these really strange shifts where the entire team is lined up on the right side because a lefty's coming up who always pulls the ball. I think maybe there should be a limit to shifts. Like with mound visits, like maybe there should be a set number of shifts that you can use. You know, shifts have been around for a really long time, but they really have gotten crazy in recent years. And like I said, some guys need to learn how to hit around them or lay down a bunt for the love of God. Why don't these guys? I know why they don't because they're paid to hit home runs, but it would be so funny to see someone that you don't expect to lay down a bunt, especially when the entire team is shifted to one side of the field. You could get a triple out of that. I saw Jason Giambi hit a double one time at Yankee Stadium because the entire team was over to the right side. And I think it was an accidental, but it looked like a push bunt. And he got a double. Why can't these guys do that? So I'm not in favor of a shift ban. I am in favor of maybe cutting down the number of them. But I don't know how that would work either. Like, what's the number you can use for shifts? Because there are so many plays in baseball and so many, yes, there are 27 outs, but you can have an inning where people are hitting 4 singles in a row and then you have this happening. So, like, what would a good number be for them to say, okay, you can't do more than this? I wonder. Let me know. Let me know in the comments on YouTube or in tweets to Locked On Yankees what your thoughts are. Maybe you don't want to get rid of the shift. And, you know, I don't blame you if you don't. Like I said, these guys should learn how to hit the ball where they ain't, as my dad used to say. I don't know. What's the third thing? Why can't I think of it? The bigger bases, the ban. They already voted for the universal DH, which I love. I know some people are not happy about that, but I don't know. There are certain pitchers you don't want to see. And we discussed this on the show last week or the week before. I think if a pitcher wants to hit in a game in which he's pitching, he should be allowed to. And then the team shouldn't be penalized when he's taken out, and he shouldn't have to be replaced with a pitcher. Just put a DH in there for him. I think that would work. Maybe. We'll see. Are you ready to discover your purpose and leave an impact wherever you go? Mission Possible, written and read by New York Times bestselling author and athlete Tim Tebow, encourages you to find your inspiration, pursue your purpose, and create a life for yourself that counts. Ignite a new spark in your life through this new inspirational listen. Mission Possible by Tim Tebow is available everywhere audiobooks are sold. Thanks for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. Locked On MLB Prospects is hosted by Lindsay Crosby, and if you listen to the show, you have heard Lindsay talk about our prospects, and Lindsay is a prospect encyclopedia, and he's going deep on the MLB Stars of Tomorrow. That show is also free and available wherever you get podcasts. So as I said, we're doing Wayback Wednesday because yes, it's fun to listen to stories about the Yankees walking off because they're positive and inspiring. And I thought, let's do something different. Someone posed this question on Twitter last week. What's the worst sporting event you've attended? And it doesn't have to be a heartbreaking playoff loss. It can be a game in which you saw your team just get clobbered. I have two of those. I have playoff losses that I've attended, but I have two of these games in which the Yankees were just smacked. The first one, September 17th, 2000, at Old Yankee Stadium. It was a 1:05 start. It was a Sunday game, so it was my tickets because I had the Sunday plan, and I was with my three cousins. My brother was down in school in Florida. So I had my cousins Jean-Ann, Chris, and Eric with me, and we saw the Yankees get clobbered by Cleveland. It was not fun. Lineups. You know I love this. The Indians, Kenny Lofton, Omar Vizquel, Roberto Alomar, Manny Ramirez, David Segui, Travis Fryman, Jim Thome, Sandy Alomar, and Jolbert Cabrera. Your starting pitcher was Chuck Finley. I mean, these are names, people, okay? If you weren't around then, that's a team right there. Mostly familiar names. The Yankees, Chuck Knobloch, Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, Jose Canseco, Jorge Posada, Glenn Allen Hill, Luis Sojo, Clay Bellinger, Ryan Thompson. And your starting pitcher, Denny Nagel. I am making a face. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it. If you're not watching on YouTube, just picture it. It's a face because of Denny Nagel. Yeah. First inning, top of the first. The Indians jump out to a 2-0 lead thanks to a home run by Manny Ramirez, which, Yankee fans were used to seeing that. Alomar had gotten on base with a single just before Ramirez hit the home run. And the annoying thing is Kenny Lofton and Omar Vizquel hit back-to-back fly ball outs. So Denny Nagel had 2 outs, and he still gave up 2 runs. David Segui hit a pop fly to shortstop to end the inning, so it's 2-0. Yankees don't do anything in the bottom of the first. Top of the second, Travis Fryman leads off with a double. Jim Thome hits a fly ball to left, which advanced Fryman to third base because it was deep to left field. Alomar strikes out swinging. So again, there's 2 outs. Nagel can get out of this without giving up more runs, but he does not because Cabrera hits a single that scores Fryman. And then Kenny Lofton, while he's up, what is happening here? Cabrera is out at second because the catcher catches him. But it doesn't say he tried to steal a base. So Kenny Lofton wasn't really up. No, he was about to step in the box when that happened. Okay, that makes sense. Yankees go down in order, in the bottom of the second, top of the third, Kenny Lofton walks. Vizquel sacrifices him to second with a bunt. Alomar hits a single. Lofton makes it to third. Ramirez hits a double that scores both Lofton and Alomar, and he advances on an E9. So he makes it to third. What is happening out in right field? David Segui hits a single, scores Ramirez. Travis Fryman hits a home run. Obviously scores himself and David Segui. And Denny Nagel is taken out of the game. My God. 2 1/3 innings, 8 runs on 8 hits, with 2 home runs surrendered, a walk, and a strikeout. Jim Thome strikes out looking. Sandy Alomar hits a fly ball to right field. It's 8-0 Indians. Randy Keisler, that's his name, right? I'm picturing him. He was a brunette, if I recall correctly. Bottom of the third, Yankees don't do anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. Knobloch walked, but the rest of them didn't do anything. Top of the fourth, Cabrera leads off with a single. Lofton walks. Omar Vizquel singles. Bases are loaded. Alomar hits a double. Cabrera and Lofton score. Vizquel makes it to third. Manny Ramirez walks. David Segui hits a double. Vizquel and Alomar score. Ramirez makes it to third. Craig Dingman comes in to pitch for the Yankees. Strikes out Travis Fryman and Jim Thome back-to-back, so maybe the Yankees can get out of here before the Indians score more, because at this point it's 12-0. But no, Sandy Alomar Jr. hits a double, scores Ramirez and Segui. And then Cabrera, who started the inning with a single, hits a fly ball to right field. It's 14-0 Indians. It's the fourth inning. It was horrible being there. And I got sunburned, which is even worse. But anyway, Yankees go down in order in the bottom of the fourth, top of the fifth. Cleveland scores for the last time. But at that point, it was just, what a game. Manny Ramirez reached on an E9. So there's right field. What is happening in right field? Lofton scored because he led off the inning with a walk-off off of Ted Lilly. And Manny Ramirez makes it to second. Who the hell was playing left field for the Yankees? Let's see. Right field. Oh, Canseco. That makes sense. And then he was replaced by Luis Polonia. So, it was just ugly. And the game, let's see, the Yankees did do something, right? Yeah. So it's 15-0 at that point. Bottom of the seventh, this is when the Yankees score all their runs. So Chuck Finley is finally taken out of the game. This is when the Yankees start scoring. So Chris Turner hits a single. Glenn Allen Hill strikes out swinging. Luis Sojo walks. Clay Bellinger hits a double that scores Turner. Ryan Thompson hits a single that scores both Sojo and Bellinger. Knobloch grounds out but advances Thompson to second base. Then Soriano hits a double that scores Thompson. But that's it. Yankees score 4 runs. It's 5-4. The Yankees don't do anything else. Bottom of the 8th, they go down 1-2-3 against Justin Spire. And in the bottom of the 9th, they go down 1-2-3 against Tom Martin. Whoever the hell that is. So it was not fun. It was not fun being at that game. Again, let me know if you were at games like that, because I need to know if other people sat through horrifying games. I mean, we should have left after the 4th inning, gone to lunch, maybe explored Manhattan, but no, I was the type of person that had to stay at a game no matter what. Anyone else like that? I don't know. I mean, I guess if you do stay at a game, you might have a chance to see something cool happen. But not in a game like that. Not when the opposing team scores 15 runs in 4 innings. No. Anyway, let's talk about something fun, like Built Bar. Have you tried their puffs? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars, because puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy, they're not just a protein bar, they're a treat, and they're covered in 100% chocolate. They're a fan favorite, and some of the flavors are churro, coconut marshmallow, and banana cream pie. All Built Bars, not just the puffs, are covered in 100% real chocolate. They're low calorie, high protein, and they're good for you. If you go to Built.com and scroll down to the macros chart, you'll see everything that I'm telling you. The flavors, mint brownie is my favorite, but coconut almond, double chocolate, those are all really good. And Built Bar is all about the taste. They make it taste delicious first, then they figure out how to make it healthy. And they will try any flavor. There are new flavors coming out all the time, and if they think something might be good, they'll just make it, and it'll be delicious, and it'll be good for you. So go to Built.com, use our promo code LOCKED15, and get 15% off your order. Again, promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders their parts on their computer, choosing only the brand that their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. You can save time and money when using Rock Auto. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years, and their prices are reliably low for every customer, whether you own an auto shop or you're just a regular Joe. They have everything you could need, from brake parts to tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. Go explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right locked on in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. So let's get into the second horrible game that I attended. May 9th, 2006. It was a Tuesday evening at Old Yankee Stadium. Red Sox Yankees. So the attendance was 54,688. Not quite a sellout in the old stadium, but pretty close to it. Your starting pitchers, Josh Beckett and Randy Johnson. Here's your Red Sox lineup. Kevin Youkilis, Mark Loretta, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Jason Varitek, Mike Lowell, Willie Mo Pena, Dustin Moore, Alex Gonzalez. For the Yankees, Johnny Damon, Derek Jeter, Jason Giambi, Alex Rodriguez, Hideki Matsui, Jorge Posada, Robinson Cano, Bernie Williams, Melky Cabrera. This was not a fun game. Because it was Yankees-Red Sox. And because Randy Johnson... how do I say this? Pooped the bed? Yeah, he pooped the bed. Now, the funny thing about this is it started off pretty well for the Yankees. Randy Johnson didn't give up any runs in the top of the first. He did leave a runner on base. The bottom of the first, Johnny Damon strikes out swinging, Derek Jeter hits a single, and Jason Giambi hits a home run. Now, if you recall 2006, that was the infamous year of the wrist injury. And this is obviously before Hideki Matsui hurt his wrist, but it's just before he hurt his wrist. I think he hurt it that week. Later that week? Do you remember that play? Gary Sheffield hurt his wrist. And then later in the year, Jason Giambi hurt his wrist. But during the time when the Yankees were without Matsui and without Gary Sheffield, those are two big boppers to be without in your lineup. Jason Giambi basically carried the team on his back. And the funny thing about this was, I had gone to 3 or 4 games so far that season up until May 9th, and Jason Giambi hit a home run at every one of them. So when he hit that home run off Josh Beckett, my phone blew up. My old flip phone. Memories. Anyway, friends were texting me, calling me, saying you need to be at games all the time because Jason Giambi hits home runs for you. Not that he really hits home runs for me, but it just seemed funny that he always hit home runs when I was there. So after the top of the second and the bottom of the second, 1, 2, 3 innings for each starting pitcher, things fell apart for Mr. Randy Johnson. Gives up a single to Dustin Moore. Alex Gonzalez walks. Kevin Youkilis lines out. Mark Loretta grounds out. But he grounded out to where Moore and Gonzalez could advance, and they were at second and third. David Ortiz reaches on an E5, which scores Moore. Gonzalez makes it to third. Manny Ramirez, while he's up, Randy Johnson uncorks a wild pitch. Gonzalez scores. Ortiz makes it to second. Then Ramirez hits a single. Ortiz scores. And then Ramirez gets to second. He advances on a throw. Jason Varitek walks, and then Mike Lowell strikes out swinging. So 3-2 Yankees. So that lovely 2-run lead that the Yankees had is washed away. 2 men are left on base. Yankees go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third, top of the fourth. Willie Mo Pena strikes out looking. Dustin Moore walks. Alex Gonzalez singles. Kevin Youkilis strikes out swinging. Again. 2 outs. It's the Denny Nagel problem. 2 outs. He could have gotten out of this inning without giving up any runs. But that didn't happen. He uncorks a wild pitch again, this time when Mark Loretta is up, which advances Moore and Gonzalez to second and third. Loretta hits a single. Both those guys score. David Ortiz hits a double. Loretta makes it to third. And then Joe Torre thinks to himself, I should probably take Randy Johnson out of this game. And he does. He brings in Aaron Small. Manny Ramirez reaches on an E9. Loretta scores. Ortiz scores. Ramirez makes it to second base. And then Jason Varitek strikes out looking. So it's 7-2 Red Sox at this point. And it only gets worse. The Yankees go down in order again in the top of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth. Top of the fifth. Mike Lowell reaches on an E5. What is happening? What was happening that day? My goodness. Willie Mo Pena lines out. Trot Nixon pinch hits for Dustin Moore. and walks. Lowell makes it to second, obviously, because that's what you do when you're on first base and someone walks. Alex Gonzalez, who was a pain in the ass that night, hits a home run. Puts the Red Sox up 10-2. The Yankees finally score another run in the bottom of the fifth, thanks to a single by Melky Cabrera. Robinson Cano had hit a double and gotten on base. And then Cabrera hit a single that scored Cano, 10-3 Red Sox. Top of the sixth, I almost said Randy Ramirez. Manny Ramirez hits a first pitch home run off Aaron Small, 11-3 Red Sox. Top of the ninth, just when you think things can't get any worse, Tanyan Sturtz comes in to replace Ron Vallone, who had come in earlier in the game. Mark Loretta grounds out. Good start. JT Snow pinch hits for David Ortiz. Hits a single. Not good. Willie Harris hits a single. Also not good. Snow makes it to third. Jason Varitek grounds out. Snow scores. Harris to second. Mike Lowell hits a double. Harris scores. Willie Mo Pena hits a single. Lowell to third. Trot Nixon, single. Lowell scores. Pena to second. Alex Gonzalez finally gets out, hits a fly ball to left. It's 14-3 Red Sox, and that's how it ends. Why on earth did Joe Torre keep Tanyan Sturtz in there for so long? Who knows? It was only May. He hadn't really ruined all the bullpen arms at that point, right? Yeah, no. It was too early in the season for that to happen. The Yankees come up in the bottom of the ninth. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They were down by 11 runs. Matsui hits a fly ball to right. Kelly Stinnett hits a fly ball to left. Robinson Cano hits a pop fly to short left. And the game is over, 14-3 Red Sox. And I stayed for the whole damn game. Could have said something else, but I'm not going to. So let me check Twitter while I'm here and see if a deal has been made. Part of me is thinking, yes, I want a deal made because I want to run around and celebrate. But I don't see anything. No, I don't, do I? Damn it. Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, no, I'm not seeing anything. Why? What is happening? Oh, wait, hold on. International draft non-starter for Latin players and might not be acceptable to union, even with major MLB give, sources tell The Athletic. This is from Ken Rosenthal about 18 minutes ago. Union in latest proposal still wants qualifying offer eliminated, as well as higher CBT thresholds and a pre-arbitration pool than Major League Baseball has offered. Okay, so nope, no deal. No deal. I'm going to be like Howie Mandel for the next couple of hours. Deal or no deal? No deal right now. So that's a bummer. I kind of wanted to dance around my friend's house, but that's not going to happen. So that's it for this episode of Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. If something happens at any point tonight or even tomorrow morning, then tomorrow's show will be all about the deal. If not, it might be a throwback Thursday and we might be looking at more old games, but you can make your second listen of your day after you listen to us. Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sullivan, please call him Sully, brings you his unique perspective on the major leagues, both past and present, and the show is free and available on all platforms. I would like to remind you that this show is also available on all platforms: Apple, Google, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher. You can watch us on YouTube and subscribe to us on YouTube. Please do. And if you have a smart device, you can tell it to play Locked On Yankees. One more thing, if you could be so kind, please rate the podcast and spread the word about this podcast to your fellow Yankee fans. We would really appreciate it. So enjoy your Wednesday, and I will talk to you tomorrow.